Hey YouTube, my name is Marita, Dr. Marita P now, and welcome to another edition of the Nurse Lounge. In this edition, I came to you all on my community tab and asked the question. I said, well, I didn't ask a question. I did ask a question. I said, hey, I have plenty of time or from free time off. What would you all like me to do videos on? And you all did not disappoint with those recommendations. So today's video is basically a subscriber or someone asked, I don't know if she subscribed or not, but a viewer asked the question, basically talk about my journey and why how I'm feeling now after having my doctoral degree, and basically, you know, why I chose the DNP route versus say FNP, DNP, EdD, PhD, stuff like that. So that's what this video is about. If you want to know, if you want to hear the answers to all that, then definitely stay tuned. All right, so my name is Dr. Marita P. If you all don't know me, your first time seeing me on YouTube, welcome to my channel. This is the Nurse Lounge, where we talk about any and everything nursing, and as well as life and everything else too. Because what happens in the lounge definitely stays in the lounge, as you all know, or should stay in the lounge. But anyway, I'm a registered nurse for 16 years. I do have a doctoral degree, so I'm a doctoral nurse. I'm a doctor nurse, and that is the highest degree that you can get in nursing, is having a doctoral degree, or in any field, but in nursing is my thing. I am an OB/GYN, well baby, nursery nurse, nurse educator, and nurse mentor. That is what I have been doing. And in the fall 2020, I will be going into my full-time faculty role in academia, teaching full-time. I will still be working at the hospital PRN from time to time, hopefully. If I can swing it, I will. But anyway, and then of course I'm a YouTuber, and I want to bring you videos that you all can, I like to bring you all real videos. There's a lot of YouTubers on here who are nurses who have good content, but it's not the real nursing. It's like, okay, no, I'm going to bring it to you raw into this is how it is in the real world. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is, the good, the bad, and the ugly of nursing. You know, think about how COVID has impacted all of us in the nursing realm. So anyway, I'm that kind of nurse. So anyway, if you happen to like that kind of thing, definitely subscribe below. But let's jump into this video. So the question was basically talk about, you know, now that I'm finished with my doctoral degree, you know, now what? Like, how do you feel about yourself after the fact? And to that question, I'm still in shock, actually. I am so in shock. Like, people call me Dr. Marita P. You know, that's just my new catchphrase now, Dr. Marita P, or Dr. P, or Dr. Marita, whatever you want to call me. But the doctor part of it is kind of like a dream come true. Like, I knew in the 5th grade I wanted to be a pediatrician, which is a doctor, obviously. But then I realized I didn't care for parents that much. I like children, but their parents are something else sometimes. And I'm a parent, so I can be something else sometimes when it comes to my kids. We are definitely people who love our babies, okay, our children. Most of us do. But anyway, I decided not to go the MD route, but I went the nurse route, and here we are with a terminal degree. So I'm still in shock about, you know, people calling me doctor, and graduation was just this past weekend. I will link that video somewhere. And it was surreal. It was surreal to be called Dr. Marita. You know, you have now earned that title of Dr. Marita P. Or, you know, so anyway, it's surreal. But I will say, because I still work in the hospital setting, it's kind of like, but I don't use that title in the hospital because it is confusing to patients. So I really haven't had the opportunity to hear it a lot in terms of hey, Dr. Marita, tell us this, that, and the other. But I will hear it plenty when school starts in August, when I have nursing students again. So, or I'm actually doing clinicals next month for another school that I work at, doing clinicals for OB. So I will hear it then. So to hear Dr. Marita, it's surreal. I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just got this doctoral degree. And I am a first generation, in case you didn't know, I'm a first generation college student. My mom and dad, who are both deceased now, did not have even high school education. And so they were a big proponent of their children, and it's 5 of us, getting a education because they did not have one at all. And of my whole family, both my mom's side and my dad's side, I'm the only one who has a master's and a doctoral degree. So that is definitely an accomplishment for my family in terms of us rising and breaking generational curses, is the fact that I have a doctoral degree. So like I said, I'm just in shock right now. I'm happy that I have my degree. I'm glad it's over with. It was a long 3 years. I'm just kind of basking in the fact that I don't have any schoolwork right now. That's the reason why I say I have time to do videos now, because I'm not doing any schoolwork. And because of COVID, I'm working from home for the most part. I'm not working as much at the hospital right now because I am PRN there. So I only schedule myself so many shifts anyway. And I'm not really interested in working much more at the hospital, more than 3 shifts per 6 weeks, because that's all I do, 3 shifts per 6 weeks. And a lot of those times I get down staff, which means that they didn't need me. So therefore I didn't have to work that day, but I'm on call that day. And I'm perfectly okay with that, because I don't have that job for the money's sake of it. I'm okay with being on payroll and not even working. But so I'm working from home with my kids are here and everything like that. So I actually don't have any issues at all with being, with not working as much. So I have plenty of time to do videos now. And in case you all didn't know, I have now reached 1,000 subscribers. So therefore, YouTube is now my part-time job, because I am monetized at this point in time. So if I'm going to be paid for doing some work, I might as well do some work. So therefore, you all need to tell me what you want me to do, and I will definitely oblige if I can. All right, so that's pretty much it. I'm still in shock. I'm still in shock about the fact that I have a doctoral degree. Hearing I'm sure I will get used to it after a while. But Dr. Marita P. My life hasn't changed otherwise. I mean, I'm currently I'm not making any more money than I was before. Again, when I start my job in the fall, I'll be making more money, a lot more money actually, and I will quit. I've actually already quit one job. I'm quitting 2 more jobs on August 1st, because I'm about to go into my role. August 7th is my first day on the job of my new job, so I'm going to quit August 1st and give those notices. So I'm actually quitting a few jobs so I can focus on my full-time education role and focus here on YouTube, my part-time job at this point in time. So that's what the plan is for that. Now, the next part of the question was, why DNP? Why not FNP to DNP? Why not, that was the actual question, but I also wanted to answer that in addition to why not PhD and why not EdD as well. So if you all don't know, DNP means Doctor of Nursing Practice. It is the highest degree that you can get as a registered nurse. And I chose that program for several reasons. But first, let me tell you why I did not want to do the PhD. So PhD is Doctor of Philosophy. And before anybody says anything, I have nothing against PhDs, EdDs, or anything like that. Just like with anything else in life, you have to find what's the best fit for you. And who paying for the education? So if they're not going to pay you, if a certain school is paying you to get a PhD, well, then that's when you get the PhD. But if nobody paying you, you got to pay out of pocket, you get the degree that you want to get in the time frame that you want to get it in. So with that being said, I wanted to get I didn't want the PhD because PhD is research based. Some people feel like it's the best degree to get. It's the best of the other 3 degrees. Let me tell you something. PhD is hard work. I will not take that away from them at all. Getting your PhD is a lot of hard work. I would say probably a little harder than it is for my DNP. But you know what? I don't want to do research. I have no desire to be a nurse scientist. That's basically what you are. A nurse scientist. I do not want to do research. That's the biggest thing with the PhD. I don't care. Because you have PhD behind your name and I have DNP behind my name, we both have the same level of education, shall I say. And then to dispel the myth that people say, well, some schools won't hire you if you don't have a PhD, or some jobs won't. Okay, well, I won't be applying for those jobs. It's just that simple. If you go up to a hospital and they require you to have a bachelor's degree, but all you have is an associate's degree, well, guess what? You can't apply for that job. It's just that simple. But I guarantee you there's going to be a hospital out there who will take your associate's degree. And for me, there are plenty of institutions who will take my DNP comparatively to a PhD. And depending on what you want to do and where you want to work at, there are some programs who are saying they want you to have a doctoral degree, preferably a DNP, because it's in nursing practice versus a PhD, if that makes sense. So PhD is research based. DNP is implementation of nursing practice. So you implement that research. So the PhD person says, okay, well, we have a new catheter out, and we've researched the catheter, and this catheter is supposed to be best for pediatric patients. I'm just giving you an example. Best for pediatric patients, and research says it cuts down on UTIs by this many percent. Da 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 da. Our what do you call it? What do you call those infections that they have in hospital acquired infections from catheters and stuff like that, UTIs and all that? Our rates are going to go down with this new catheter. That's what the research is going to say. That's what the PhD people do that research. Okay, the DNP people say, okay, well, you know what? We're going to try this new catheter out. So then I say, okay, all right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and try this new catheter out. We're going to start it on August 1st of this year. We're going to see how many patients we do have who have this UTI. We're going to collect data. Okay. Then the data going to come back out and say, you know what? That catheter was worse than the first one. So then I'm going to go back to them PhD people and say, no, the catheter didn't work. God got to do some more research, go back to the drawing board. That's basically what the differences are. We basically can feed off of one another. Okay. DNPs put things into practice. PhDs do research. Okay. Now, EdD is the Doctor of Education. If I did have something to do over again, I probably would have went for the EdD because I am a nurse educator. However, I can still use my DNP in nursing education. Okay. So I love nurse education. But I probably would have went for the EdD, but at the time there was not a program out that was close to me that met my requirements and things like that for why I didn't go the EdD route. I found a program about 2 years into my program, but I wasn't about to change programs at 2 years into the program. So I'm like, I'm gonna finish my DNP. And again, I have a job, and my job only requires you to have a doctoral degree. It didn't make a difference what it was, EdD, PhD, or DNP. And a lot of them are like that, where they don't care which one you have, they just want you to have a doctoral degree. So I chose a DNP because that was the best fit for me at the time, based off of the time commitment that I had, based off of the money that was required, and based off of how I had to commute to campus. My program was not it was an online program, but it was actually a hybrid program, which basically means that I had to go from, we were mostly online for majority of the semester, but for about a week of every semester, we had to come to campus. And I didn't want to have to fly to a campus that's like, you know, I live in Tennessee, so I didn't want to have to go to, say, Colorado for a week-long classes, and I have to take off from work, which also meant my husband had to take off of work, which means we had to find childcare or whatever we had to do for a whole week, which means we've also lost income. The school that I picked was only 2 hours from my house. So even though I typically would go get a hotel room the night before, I didn't have to do that if I didn't have to. I could technically get up that morning and leave in enough time, since it was like a 2-hour drive, depending on traffic, to get to my class on time. And I could come back home the same day if I had to. I typically stayed there on campus, or not on campus, but stayed in town for my entire time there. But again, I had the option to do that if I needed to, because again, it was close to my house. So the money issue, the fact that it was a school that was in state, so I had to pay no out-of-state tuition. The fact that it was close to I just said close to my house. And then here's a big one. So the question or the statement the person made was, why to do the FNP to DNP or whatever. I don't have no intentions or desire to be FNP or to be any kind of nurse practitioner at all. That is, I don't, this is not towards the person who asked the question. But when people ask me, why are you not a nurse practitioner? Because I don't want to be. That's not where it's at for everybody. People think that the best thing to be is a nurse practitioner when you get your master's degree, or people assume, oh, you're going to be a nurse practitioner? No, I don't want to be a nurse practitioner. I do not want to do the clinical side. I do not want to take care of patients. I do that at the hospital. I don't want that kind of responsibility. Do they make pretty decent money? Yeah, they make decent money. But like I was saying in another video, here in Middle Tennessee, the FNPs is oversaturated. So therefore, they're not even working as an FNP, or if they are working as an FNP, they're working at a clinic, a Walgreens clinic, or the little clinic, Kroger's, something like that. And most of them are miserable. And if they are not working there, they're still working bedside somewhere. So they're not even working their skill set. They're not even working their new degree because it's so oversaturated here. But in nursing education, there's always a shortage in nursing education. Always, always, always a shortage in nursing education. I am one of the youngest nurse educators, associate professors. On average, the average age of a professor or associate professor is around 55 to 65. Between those ages, they are approaching retirement. Okay. I am only 42 years old, so therefore I am young and I'm new, and I've been in education for 15 years now, so I'm not new, but I'm younger. Okay, so I'm much younger. I have plenty of time left in education, and I will always have a job, and I can always make good money in education. People think education doesn't pay. Comparatively to the clinic side, no, it doesn't. If you want to compare dollar to dollar, it does not pay. Education does not pay. However, I'm only working 9 months a year. Whereas at FNP, you work in all 12 months a year. You work in sometimes probably weekends, depending on what kind of clinic you work in. You may be working a few, evening shifts. You may work all kinds of things. Me, I'm working only 9 months a year. My summers are off if I choose to be. I can work in the summer if I want to and make extra money, or I can vacation the entire summer. I vacation the entire winter break. We get spring break, we get fall break, plus we get the holidays and weekends off. So, with that being said, for me, with children, nurse education is where it's at for me. It pays me very, very well. And actually, truth be told, I'm getting paid more in nursing education at the institution I'm going to than I have ever gotten paid at the hospital, working like a slave at that hospital for 12-hour days. No more 12-hour days besides my PRN days. Now, mind you, I told you I'm still working in the hospital, so just ignore that part. But I'm saying comparatively, I'm making more money than I ever would have made otherwise. And believe it or not to put all my business out there, but by December of 2021, I'll be making 6 figures. So tell me what floor nurse is making 6 figures. Tell me, well, you can actually, you can make 6 figures as floor nurses if you join travel, if you're doing travel, and if you work in all this overtime and stuff like that. But I don't have any overtime. I'm just doing my hours. So I had no desire to do FNP. I have no desire to do informatics. I cannot stand informatics. I have no desire to be an administrator. I have no desire to be a midwife. None of those whatsoever I had a desire for. So education has always been my niche. I have always loved to teach nursing students. And I've always wanted to make sure that my nursing students were better than I ever was when I came out of nursing school. I want them to be on it. I want to be like, where'd you go to school at? Who taught you? They're going to say Dr. Marita. That's who taught me. And she was rough. She was hard. She didn't play. That's a lot of them say. She don't play. And I don't. But I guarantee you, when I'm finished with them, though, they come back and thank me later. They're like, you know what? Oh my gosh, you were just the best because you taught us exactly what we need to know. You didn't sugarcoat anything, and we was ready to learn. If you're not ready to learn, then you're not ready for me. But if you're ready to learn, I'm here for you. So that is pretty much why I chose the DNP route, the Doctor of Nursing Practice. I have no regrets at this point. I have to give you another video in the next couple of years to see if there's any regrets at that later on. But again, yes, I probably would have did the EdD if I had known a program that was close enough to my home that I could have done. But again, I couldn't find a program to do the EdD. And again, PhD was never an option for me. And I had people argue me down saying, you need to go get your PhD. I'm like, okay, unless you're paying for it, I'm going to get the degree that I want to get. So I want to encourage you all. You're going to get some slack for whatever you pick. You're going to have people like, you want to be an FNP? Can't nobody get no job as FNP. But if that's what you want to do, you do it. Don't let nobody stop you. If you want to be an informatics person, do it. Because don't nobody else want to do No, quit playing. Don't nobody else want to do it. No, I'm just playing. Some people want to do informatics, and that's great. My whole point is we need people in all these areas of nursing. We need people, especially people who are ethnic minorities. We need ethnic minorities, and we need men in advanced practice, okay? How can we be leaders if we're not here? How can we show them what's done if we're not here? So part of the reason why I went back to get my DNP was not because of personal, just because of personal reasons. For one, I have 4 children that I want to show them that it can be done no matter what. I have followers on here, subscribers on here, as well as on IG, who they need to see it can be done. I struggled and struggled and struggled. It took me 24 years from graduation to DNP, from high school graduate, 1996 to 2020. It took me 24 years to get 4 degrees, but I did it. I took one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, had babies along the way. As some of you all know, I'm going through some things personally, and you can see other videos to know more about that. But you all know that already. So therefore, you know, I'm an open book. So it's kind of like, okay, if I endured all that and I still made it here, I still have a doctoral degree, then you all can do the same thing. There's nothing that's stopping you. No, nothing, no one but you. Just keep it moving. I have a doctoral degree because of the fact that I pursued it. I worked hard, and here we are. You know, I didn't let the naysayers. Matter of fact, give your haters front row seats. They the ones who need tickets, popcorn, and everything. Give them front row seats, because them the ones right there. For me personally, that was my motivators. They were the ones. I'm like, okay, I'm about to show you something. They were the ones who I don't even know why you're doing this. You know, you ain't got time for this. You may not even make it. Okay, you know, here's your ticket. You can go ahead and watch what I do. Okay, and I'm like, so don't block them. Don't block them. Let them watch, because they watching you and they taking notes too. They taking notes. So let them hate. Now, if they're being just evil and they're really distracting you, taking away from your energy, then definitely, you know, block them. But if not, they have their slide comments or whatever, let them watch. Let them watch. Front row seats. Like I said, front row seats. I have this one hater. She hated so bad. I told her, I said, you know what? I said, you are my inspiration. And she thought it was a compliment. Because truth be told, she was so dingy and so, what's the word? She didn't have it together at all. I said, if she can get a DMP, then I know I can. So she was my motivation. I said, you know what? You are my inspiration to get my DMP. And she thought that was a compliment, and it was not. Because I'm like, I didn't say that she was dingy to her. I'm just saying that if she can do it, oh, I know I can do it. And that's exactly what happened. And I'm so proud of the fact that I proved them all wrong, that, you know, that they didn't think I could do it, but I did it. And I did it with children. I did it with working. I did it with a bad marriage. I did it with COVID. To get a degree during COVID is crazy, because we had to go through some crazy stuff to get our clinical hours done. But again, I finished. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. Did you finish? Did you finish? It doesn't matter. Don't get caught up in GPAs. As long as you graduate, that's all that matters. Okay? That's all that matters. So hopefully you found this video insightful. Thank you for the one who suggested this. I actually wanted to do a video on this very topic. I just wasn't planning to expand on it. But you have definitely given me some great ideas. Also, I still have the community tab up. So if you happen to, well, I take that back. It is up, but by the time some of you may see this a year from now, I won't be doing that. So at any point, no matter when you see this video, if you see it in 2020, 2021, 2022, whenever you see this video, if you happen to want me to do a topic on something that you think would be great or interesting, something you want to know, number one, go back and look through my 100+ videos to see if that topic's already been discussed. And if you watch that video and it has been discussed, but you still have questions, then definitely ask me. You can always, you know, leave the question below, or you can follow me on my social media platform of IG. So the handle will be up here. It will be in the banner at the top, and it's also going to be in the description box below. And you can definitely ask me your question over there. I do have a business email that you can email me privately and ask the question that you want to ask, or simply say, hey, could you do a video on this? And I'd be happy to oblige. I am doing these videos because you asked me to do them, and they are all great topics, and I thank you all so much. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We are growing. Definitely subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your mom and them, tell your cousins, tell your nurse friends, tell everybody about the Nurse Lounge, because we are talking about great things in Nurse Lounge. And again, a lot of these things are nursing content, nursing topics, but sometimes they may not be what's going on in the hospital, what's going on behind the scenes in the hospital. Sometimes we're dealing with race relations. And matter of fact, you know what? I may do a video on race relations in higher education in terms of, you know, the struggles I went through getting my DNP and how race played a factor. I may do that. Thumbs this video up if you want to see that video on how I had to deal with race relations, getting my DNP or even my master's degree, period. So anyway, thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. As usual, let's chat in the comments. I love talking to you all. You all are so engaging. And until the next video, you all take care. Bye-bye.